Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Todd Chrisley's upcoming detailed prison schedule revealed. Todd Chrisley's upcoming detailed prison schedule revealed. Next month, Todd Chrisley and his wife, Julie, will start serving their combined 19-year sentence. They will be around 3 hours apart from one another with limited communication. Yes, the married duo will be able to send emails and letters, and possibly packages. However, those will have to be sent with permission. Todd's jobs will be extremely menial, being paid cents per hour, though Julie's has not been disclosed. So, what will a typical day look like for the next 12 years for the Chrisley patriarch? According to TMZ, he will have a very specific uniform for his minimum security FPC in Florida. Todd will have to wear green pants and a matching shirt along with white socks and steel-toed black boots. Every morning, 445 am means it's lights on with breakfast starting at 5 a.m. and running for an hour. Todd Chrisley will have until 630 am to make up his bed, but not just in any fashion but military style is required. To complete that part of the morning, his room needs to be spotless. Todd will then start his workday, which could be at approximately 730 am. He has a bevy of jobs that could come his way, but the lowest one would be cleaning toilets. After a few hours, he will get to eat lunch at 11 am and then return to work until dinner from 430 to 530 pm. Fortunately, his workday will come to a close anywhere between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. depending on what he is doing. The final activity is getting mail at 830 p.m. with the lights dimming 2 hours after. It's not all regimented for Todd Chrisley. The jail does have a bevy of fun and athletic activities for him to participate in if he so chooses. There are sports like softball, flag football, basketball, soccer, and volleyball to keep him in good shape. However, if Todd Chrisley is feeling more creative and wants to make his wife a gift, there's art and woodworking. Finally, he can also do weight training or music if that is something more up his alley. Oh, and if he wants his family to come in and see him, he can have a maximum of 5 people at a time. That seems pretty lenient and a good amount considering he has 5 kids and Chloe. Whether or not the children will want to see him like this is a better question. The bright lights of reality television had long faded, replaced with the sterile hum of fluorescent bulbs and the regimented rhythm of prison life. Todd Chrisley, once the charismatic, impeccably dressed patriarch of Chrisley Knows Best, now found himself in an environment where his schedule was dictated not by filming crews and network executives, but by correctional officers and institutional policy. For a man who had prided himself on control, status, and appearances, the unveiling of his daily prison schedule was like peering into an alternate reality, one that millions of curious fans couldn't stop speculating about. 5:00 am, wake-up call. The day begins early in prison, long before the sun rises. A harsh buzzer echoes through the unit, jarring even the lightest sleepers awake. For Todd, whose mornings once started with leisurely cups of coffee served in crystal mugs and carefully chosen designer outfits, the new routine is far less glamorous. He folds his blanket into tight corners, prison regulations demand neatness, and changes into his assigned uniform. Discipline, he mutters to himself. If I can't control my wardrobe, I'll control my presentation. Even here, he insists on looking pressed, his shirt tucked, his shoes polished with whatever meager resources he can find. It's the small act of rebellion that reminds him of who he once was. 6:00 am, breakfast line. Breakfast is no catered southern spread of biscuits and gravy. Instead, it's powdered eggs, a scoop of oatmeal, and occasionally a slice of fruit. Todd, who built a reputation for being particular about his meals, adapts reluctantly. He's learned the politics of the chow hall quickly, where to sit, who to nod at, who not to cross. Some inmates joke about seeing a TV star in their midst, though Todd often responds with a smirk and a sharp comment, reminding them that while he may be here, he's still the man who once built an empire. Deep down, however, the contrast between the lavish brunches of his past and the plastic tray before him gnaws at him. 7 o'clock a.m. Morning work assignment. Prison life isn't idle. By 7, Todd is assigned to his work detail. Rumors swirl outside that he was given a position in the prison library. Some say it suits his personality, allowing him to feel as though he still oversees something intellectual. Others whisper he was put on janitorial duty, pushing mops and scrubbing floors. In truth, a humbling his tasks shift. Some days he sorts laundry, folding rough uniforms that remind him of the luxury fabrics once filling his closet. On others, he stacks books or takes inventory of supplies. He does it quietly, but with an inner monologue running the entire time, critiquing inefficiencies, mentally drafting how he fixed the system if it were his. 11 o'clock a.m. Lunch. The midday meal is another reminder of his changed circumstances. The food is repetitive, heavy on starch, light on flavor. Todd has started bartering with fellow inmates for small extras. A packet of hot sauce here, a cookie there. His natural charisma, which once charmed audiences on USA Network, now helps him navigate the barter economy of prison. In conversations, he occasionally slips back into his old rhythm, gossiping about fellow inmates as though they were cast members in another season of his show. Honey, if the cameras were rolling in here, trust me, we'd be topping the ratings chart again. 12 o'clock p.m. Education and programs. Afternoons are often reserved for classes or rehabilitation programs. Todd, never one to let himself appear idle, signs up for financial literacy seminars. Though ironically, it's the very area where his downfall began. He takes notes diligently, half out of genuine interest, half out of determination to keep his mind sharp. In group therapy sessions, he's guarded but articulate. When asked about accountability, he admits to mistakes, but always frames them with flair. Yes, I fell. But darling, even a diamond falls from the jeweler's hand now and then. 2 o'clock p.m. Recreation time. This is the part of the day Todd has slowly come to appreciate. The prison yard is a stark contrast to his former sprawling estate lawns, but it offers fresh air, a chance to stretch, and social maneuvering. Some inmates lift weights, others walk the perimeter. Todd opts for brisk walks, occasionally stopping to engage in animated conversations. He's even been spotted coaching fellow inmates on how to carry themselves with confidence. Straighten that posture, look people in the eye. Just because you're in here doesn't mean you lose your dignity. It's his way of reclaiming relevance, of turning prison life into another stage where he can perform. 4 o'clock p.m. Count time. The entire facility pauses. Inmates must return to their cells for a head count. For Todd, it's a frustrating interruption. He paces inside his cell, muttering about inefficiency, but he knows better than to break the rules. This is a moment where his lack of control stings the most. Everything stops, not when he chooses, but when the system dictates. 5 o'clock p.m. Dinner. Dinner is typically the last hot meal of the day. Sometimes it's pasta, sometimes mystery meat, occasionally something resembling chicken. Todd eats it without complaint now, though he silently imagines how his mother, Nanny Faye, would tear into the cooks for their lack of seasoning. He finds small comfort in reminiscing about family dinners, though the ache of separation never fully dulls. 6 o'clock p.m. Evening programs and chapel. Faith has always been part of the Chrisley image, and in prison, Todd leans into it more. Chapel services offer solace, a break from the monotony, and the community outside of the daily hustle. He attends regularly, his Bible marked with notes and underlined verses. Occasionally, he'll be asked to read aloud or give testimony. In those moments, he slips back into his old role as a patriarch, his voice steady and commanding, inspiring nods from fellow inmates. 8 o'clock p.m. Phone calls and letters. Evenings bring one of the most emotional parts of the day, phone calls. He speaks to his children, Savannah, Chase, and Grayson, trying to sound strong, even when the weight of confinement drags his voice lower. Sometimes, Savannah updates him on her efforts to keep the family afloat. Other times, Nanny Faye brings lighthearted stories that make him laugh through the static.